He ain't got nothing.
Both of these guys have strong, explosive personalities.
After a doping scandal was recently revealed.
Now I am become death.
Slap fighting. Some say it's a sport, others say it's stupidity, a one-way ticket to CTE and chronic brain damage. Regardless, it has skyrocketed in popularity over the last few years, with slap fighting leagues cropping up across the globe. The sport is still very much in its infancy, and much of the background surrounding the contestants, tactics, and rules remain largely unknown. Whether you despise this farcical event, which perhaps symbolises the gradual decline in the rationale of humanity, or simply cannot look away from the spectacle from fear of missing a monumental knockout, I feel a video regarding the underground conspiracies, trends, and downright outrageous facts should be brought to light in the form of an iceberg. Now, this is my first attempt at creating an iceberg, and admittedly I wasn't blessed with an abundance of information, mainly due to slap fighting being in its infancy. However, after extensive research, I feel I've managed to delve relatively deep into this unknown sport. But firstly, thank you so much for watching, please leave a like if you enjoy, and now let's deep dive into the 5 dark tiers of this iceberg as they gradually become more obscure and interesting. Also, please check out my The History of Slap Fighting video if you're interested. Link will be in the description. Artur Walczak. At Punchdown 5, David Zalewski faced Artur Walczak in a bitter slapping duel on October the 22nd, 2021, which resulted in Artur suffering a cerebral hemorrhage and unfortunately passing away. A monumental slap from Zalewski had severely damaged his brain, compelling doctors to put him into a drug-induced coma from which he would never wake up. So tragic. No bang for your buck. On May the 25th, 2023, a viral image showcased the aftermath of a contestant's match. The photo displayed the contestant's face, heavily swollen and with bloodshot eyes with visible blood clots. Despite the evident damage, rumours circulated of the victorious contestant's match winnings, with it being broadly believed that the man received in the region of $800 to $2,000 to $3,000. In a sport that seems like a guaranteed ticket to CTE, the trade-off doesn't seem too profitable. Alexandru throws. Khamzat Chimaev is one of the more recognisable slap fighters since the clip of his bout against Gorchakurt Alexandru went viral. Chimaev may have officially won the bout in early 2023, but many believe that Alexandru actually threw the fight. He was worried about inflicting even more damage on Chimaev and felt it better to walk away and allow the opponent his hard-earned victory. This theory definitely seems legitimate, as Alexandru looked visibly distressed for Chimaev and seemed to walk away despite having much left in the tank. The chalk thesis. Weightlifting chalk has been a staple of Dana White's Power Slap, as well as being included in the Polish Punchdown series. But, although widely speculated, there is little actual strategic advantage in applying chalk to one's palms prior to a slap. But there are 2 genuine reasons for its use. Firstly, it looks good when one can see a chalky outline of a hand on the opponent's flustered face. Secondly, it allows referees to see whether the outline appears on an area of the face that is against the rules to slap. Next, we'll move on to tier 2 of the iceberg, where things certainly start to become more obscure. Missing videos. Moist Critical is a YouTuber and streamer who played a huge role in promoting the awareness of slap fighting and probably boosted its overall popularity. He regularly posts reaction style videos regarding slap fights going on around the globe. However, a number of fans have noticed the omission of some videos the YouTuber made, in which he reacted to the Punchdown War event that took place in Poland a few years ago. There is no confirmed reason for why the videos are suddenly missing, but some have speculated that it could be linked with the death of Artur Walczak, as the streamer sought to remove any possible promotion or support of the event away from his platform. Regardless, the streamer has never actually addressed this. Komotsky's autograph. Vasily Komotsky, perhaps the best known slap fighting contestant, never actually intended on entering a slap competition. In May 2018, Russian powerlifter Kirill Sarachev hosted the first Sarachev Power Expo in Moscow, a 2-day event involving various bodybuilding and wrestling competitions. Sarachev's organised spectacle began to tour around Russia, eventually holding a power show in Siberia, close to where Vasily Komotsky is from. Komotsky decided to attend as he is a massive fan of Sarachev and hoped to get the powerlifter's autograph. It was only once Komotsky rocked up at the event that he saw signs encouraging people to enter a slapping contest and upheld many eating competition. It appears we were seriously close to never seeing the dumpling in action. Robo-slap. A couple of months ago, a video surfaced of a robot slapping another contestant unconscious. After intense online debates, the video was debunked as being fake. It was not an actual robot standing across the table. But it has been revealed that the robot is AI generated and was simply edited over an actual human. Regardless, it was artificial intelligence that ultimately imagined a scenario of a robot knocking out a human, so I guess we're not off the hook just yet. Diaper debacle. One of the fairly well-known contestants in White's Power Slap, Michael Slap Jesus Smith, weighed in at one of the competitions wearing a diaper. No one really knows why, but it's a testament to the wacky mindset of some of these participants. Now we are going to dive into Tier 3, in which the obscurity is routinely replaced by the outright bizarre and strange. Phone box. In April 2022, Vasily Komotsky took on a mixed martial artist in a red telephone box, which was located in the middle of a frozen lake in Siberia. In a bizarre sport that could have only originated in Russia, the two contenders brawled with each other in the tiny space. The contest was fairly uneven, with Komotsky weighing 142 kilograms and his opponent scaling just 62 kilograms. Komotsky dropped his opponent in the third round with just 15 seconds left of the bout. At least his slapping power seems to translate into effective punching capabilities. Kennedy Coco. On the 16th of February 2023, John Kennedy, a participant in Dana White's Power Slap, was suspended after testing positive for cocaine. Kennedy holds a 2-for-2 record in Power Slap and had previously competed in MMA with 10 wins and 38 losses. Some have speculated that, due to the amount of cocaine uncovered in his system, Kennedy may have been on the substance during an actual bout. I'm doubtful as to whether it helped his cause much though.
You ain't ready. What? That's it.
Spicely Pricey. Eric Spicely, a former middleweight MMA fighter, was asked to go on Power Slap, but instead, he would make the world aware of the ridiculously low wage payments. He tweeted to his followers, stating that each fighter got just $2,000 for their troubles, a staggeringly low figure when compared to the money which is likely generated from a high-profile slap bout such as this, and probably a drop in the ocean when compared to his previous winnings as an MMA fighter. No memory. On the 19th of January 2023, Chris Thomas took on Chris Kennedy at welterweight, with Thomas launching a thunderous slap which saw Kennedy drop to the floor, completely unconscious. He was then sat up after regaining slight consciousness, where he looked completely baffled by his surroundings and took a confused look to see what was going on. A doctor uttered, "You can sit on your butt right now. The doctor is next to you. Okay, you got knocked out." Then Kennedy replied with this.
Okay.
Knocked out doing what? Was I fighting?
You're in the slap of it.
Short-term memory loss can occur after a concussion from a brutal KO, but Kennedy had even forgotten why he had been knocked out, or if he even fought in the competition. This saga is consistently cited by those who oppose slap fighting, and perhaps signifies further dangers down the line. Now we move on to tier 4, and all I've got to say is, fasten your seatbelts. Diaz. Carice Archer is an MMA fighter who has competed in Dana White's power slap, losing to Azael Rodriguez.
That's 2.
Sit down! Sit the down! 3! Sit the down!
However, not many people know that Archer and Nate Diaz got into a scuffle of sorts whilst at the Jake Paul vs Tyron Woodley 2 event. Diaz feinted a punch at Archer, who flinched and spilled his drink in the process. As the video of Archer spilling his drink went viral, he posted a video on his Instagram attacking Diaz. He claims that the UFC superstar isn't a real gangster, as he tried to catch him off guard when the former wasn't paying attention. Archer also urged UFC President Dana White to give him a one-fight deal to fight Diaz. No legality. Allegedly, Komotsky has never delivered a legal slap in his whole career. Many eagle-eyed Reddit viewers have pointed to the fact that Komotsky's slaps are more akin to a punch, as he often deploys the hard base of his hand as opposed to the fingers. Although there are definite examples of Komotsky electing to strike with the hard base, to say all his slaps have been illegal seems a little far-fetched, particularly at events such as Punchdown where the rules are more stringently enforced. Let me slap, bro. Many of you that are into MMA may know Julian Lane, the man who went viral during his outburst on the Ultimate Fighter program in which he repeatedly stated, "Let me bang, bro."
Let me bang, man! I wanna do that, man. Let me bang, bro. I do. I do. Let me bang, I do let you bang. Hey. Let me bang again, man. I'll let you bang.
The former lightweight fighter would retire from MMA with a record of 12 wins, 9 losses and 1 draw before he transitioned into bare-knuckle boxing in 2018, where his record currently stands at 3 wins and 4 losses. But what many people don't know is that Lane has fought in the slap fighting championship against Peter Truchlik. He ended up losing in round 4 of the bout, putting up a spirited performance against a veteran. Slaposterone. Isaiah Quinones, who competed in a slap fighting bout on March the 11th, was suspended for 12 months after testing positive for 19-norandrosterone, drostanolone, tamoxifen and boldenone, which are anabolic steroids and obviously elevate one's testosterone level. He had to pay a $750 fine, another $495 fee for additional testing required, and a $326 fine in prosecution fees. He will be eligible to compete again after March the 11th, 2024. Slap Critical. One fan of Moist Critical made a literal slapping game that features the man himself. The game involves a really tall and an actual sized Charlie slapping one another in the same setup as the majority of slap fight events. Black shirt Charlie stands in the back, observing the matchup. Some hypothesize that this suited man could represent the final boss of the slapping sphere. Finally, we move on to tier 5, where the content and theories just get outright ridiculous. Evolution. In the infamous bout that went viral, much of the damage done to Simeon's face had been caused earlier in the tournament, but it was solely in the final matchup where his face fully exploded. Some theorise that this deformation was a sign of evolving in real time, as the human body sought to mitigate the impact of the constant blows upon the face. Had slap fighting gone on for generations, perhaps all contestants' faces would morph with added padding. I don't think we were witnessing a rapid evolution. Instead, we just saw considerable damage as the cells swelled and blood vessels burst. Dana's ploy. I stumbled across a Reddit post suggesting that Dana White was using slap bouts to effectively undermine UFC fighters and promote slap fighting as a harder sport.
Weak.
In the Jaworski versus Davis fight, I gotta say, the guy has an MMA background, but his slap was absolutely the weakest one that I have seen yet.
This theory seems to be fairly widely endorsed, and came to fruition due to the consistent matchup of former MMA fighters with veteran slap fighters. There has allegedly been a consistent trend of the MMA fighters delivering woeful slaps before being knocked out by the professional slapper. Following this, Dana would come on screen and give some spiel about how this is a whole different game from MMA, slap fighting is different.
Being a mixed martial artist doesn't necessarily translate into slap fighting.
The Reddit user stated that it pissed me off so much because it's so obvious that Dana was using this entire part of the show to put down MMA fighters and try to prove the narrative against slap fighting wrong, by showing that an MMA fighter could lose in the slap fighting ring. I feel he may be trying to show that the UFC fighters are fallible, but considering he's built the UFC up greatly over the years, I doubt he's trying to fully undermine them. Power slap has certainly received much backlash, with viewers claiming there is no skill though, so this certainly could have a degree of credibility. Satanist. A viral clip of Komotsky in a slap bout against a unique looking man got the conspiracies surrounding his identity whirling. I personally wasn't able to find out the man's identity, but many on online forums have speculated that the individual is a possible Satanist. This implies that he is part of a sect that worships the character identified with the name of Satan or Lucifer in the Bible. If the man is prepared to get his eyeballs dyed black using a syringe and have his tongue sawed in half, then you can't really put anything past him. Komotsky's War. Now this one is a bit stupid and may or may not have been made up by myself, but judging by Vasily Komotsky's Instagram, he seems to be one of the few male Russian citizens who are yet to be drafted for the war in Ukraine. If he had been, maybe the campaign would have been going successfully. After all, some believe he shouldn't be simply fighting for Russian pride, but for humanity itself. So that concludes the whole Iceberg, guys. Apologies if some parts were slightly random and not the most interesting, but creating an iceberg for such a new and niche sport is actually pretty hard. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and consider subscribing. I'd be over the moon if we'd hit 20k before the end of the year. Take care and have a great day.